Alright, so this is week 8, and we're still talking about lighting and appliances. And the reason we want to care about lighting and appliances is because they give off heat, and also they consume a lot of energy. This is not only right? Okay, good.
Okay. No, I can hear it.
Because my ear is ringing all day. So one thing you can do is relamp. What does that mean? Change the light bulbs in the house if they are giving off too much heat, or you feel that they are costing too much energy, you can relamp. And there's a lot of incentives and rebates for buying light bulbs. Clean the fixtures. How is this helpful? You'll get more light out of a clean fixture. This little plates here can be cleaned. Get the right level or size. Instead of buying too many lamps and put them in the wrong place, get the right size and level of brightness. Use natural light when possible. Did I show you those little skylights that you put in the roof? And it goes in a tube all the way to your living room. You can use that. It's free light. It's free. It also looks aesthetically nice, and there's nothing compared to natural sunlight. Bright fixtures, floodlights, that will direct the light where you want it instead of having the light going all over the place. Dimmers, the snap switches, those are very helpful. They helped us save a lot of energy. One of the issues with the LEDs that they were not dimmable. Now they are dimmable. Yeah.
What's a snap switch?
It's a timer. You click it on, in 15 minutes it will go off by itself.
Oh, okay.
So if you're in a closet, if you're in a place where you forget the light you all the time, get a snap switch. You turn it on, it's like a toggle. In 15 minutes it's off, and it's very, very helpful. You can also use sensors. Sensors are really great for hallways and kitchens or in the night. It's to leave the light on all night, just have sensors, and they are very inexpensive. Some of them are battery operated. You put a battery in it and it lasts for 6 months because they only work during the night and when somebody's there. So LEDs made all those timers very effective because they don't consume a lot of power. I mean, it was impractical before to put a light bulb with batteries. You have to put a wire all the way there, and now it's more practical with LED lights. Timers and sensors, photocells activated switches. Those are the night lights like the one you have in the bathroom. You can have some that you can put outside that will react with the light and shut off the light bulb. Optimization, you can set up to 50% of the cost. Paint color selection, print color and font. What does that mean? Like choose books that have the right print and color and font, because that will make it easier for you to read with less light, instead of having to go to very, very bright light and strain your eyes. If you have to do a lot of reading or after reading, you need to get the right print, color, and font. If you use Kindle now or any of those reading through the screen, you can maximize the font and lower the strain in your eyes. Reduce aesthetic lights that has no purpose, or at least relamp them with something as LEDs. Provide spotlights for areas that need light instead of lighting the entire place. Put spotlights when needed. Reduce glare by using the right contrast. Most TVs now they have a sensor, so you can see the TV changing the brightness based on the room temperature. Task-based rooms and lighting. Like when you have a multitask room, you have a dining area, maybe office area. So use the task-based light and spotlight for that. Okay, so this is the light output equivalency. It does not include LED because this is outdated. But they compare watts and lumens and what is this? Common Energy Star qualified light bulbs. So the watts. So for 40 watts light bulb incandescent, you get this is the energy saving ones. This is how many lumens you get, and this is how much watt you consume for energy saving light bulbs. So if you have an energy saving light bulb, anything between 9 and 13 will be equivalent to 40 watts, and we have the same lumens. So what we're looking for is the lumens. For regular incandescent light, 60 light bulb, you can get 13 or 15 from the CFL. So let's compare CFL to incandescent lights. You should have a new account now for LEDs. So light cost questions. If you need to light a room with 330 lumens, Let's say the architect told you that we need 330 lumens for this workspace. Using 3 CFL lights that consume 5 watts each for 3 hours a day for the entire year. How much would that cost over 2 years at power cost of 15 cents per kilowatt hour? So if I want to do this little math here, so where did I get the lumens and the watts? It's from the previous slide. So I look here, we have 3,300 lumens. So if I can use any combination of these based on the distribution. So I'm using incandescent lights, 3,300, that's three light bulbs. Each one of them will consume 25 watts. So if we want to do this, hopefully we'll get the right number. So 3 lights times 25 watts. How does the bulbs? I was confused this one. Light bulb. How many hours a day? 3 hours a day. Here, 365.
Times
2 years times 2. Why did I put 2 years? It's the entire lifespan of those light bulbs. Times 15 cents per kilowatt hour. 15 cents per kilowatt hour. And this has to be divided by 1,000. Let's start with Robert's one. 3 times. I get $24. Yeah.
The 2 years part on that equation, when you have to do the days though? 'Cause
Yeah,
you can't
which-
just times it by 2.
You can't.
Because I put the days here.
Yeah, so,
So days and 2 years. So each one of those years is 365.
yeah, so you
Times
do
2.
365.
Yeah. 24.6. What will be the cost if you are going to use incandescent light bulbs? It's going to be 3 times the cost because we just tripled the amount of watts, so around 74. Okay. If you want to add, if you want to be really economical and see if this is worth it or not, you put this amount of consideration. So if I add the capital cost of $3 above for CFL and $1 for incandescent, which is costing more for the 2 years of the entire operation. So you're gonna have to account for the length, the years, the operational C, and the capital cost. This is the capital cost plus the operation for the CFL. Capital cost plus the operation, 78. You're still saving at least half the amount, even though they cost 3 times more. So you gotta look at the entire lifespan. And most of these light bulb has warranties for 2 years or 5 years, depending on what they guarantee. Okay. Ionizing gas. Oh, I want to show you this, but I have to. I want to show how the incandescent light work with Tesla lamp. We have a Tesla lamp and we have a CFL light that will light up. But I'll bring with me this class to show you. So this is concluding my part about lighting, and we'll move into appliances. Any questions about lighting? I think we did too much lighting. Good.
So,
high demand appliances, refrigerators, washers, drying, using electricity, or if using gas, still consuming energy. So 80 to 90% of the appliances share the power consumption. So they take, those three appliances take 80 to 90% of the appliances power consumption. We did not put the oven or microwave or the other small appliances. That's appliances, not light. Light is 50%. The other 50 is the appliances, and those appliances, 90 of those is the fridge, the washer, the dryer, and the rest is just what the coffee maker, the other small things, maybe the TV. And if you think about even the oven, it does not, even though it consumes a lot of energy, you do not use it for that long. So the duration is, huh?
microwaves consume a lot of energy.
Yeah, but it's only like what, 1 minute, 2 minutes, so it's nothing. So dishwashers, 80 to 90% power goes to the water heater. So that will add up to the, again, if you're gonna use hot water, this is going to add up to your hot water supply, storage, and it's gonna add up to the boiler size. Most new washers, they have their own heating element. So you don't have to do piping and heat the water all the way from the boiler or from the storage to your washer. And most clothes washing does not require hot water. Hot water is not that, it's not needed anymore, especially with the new detergent and the new washers, you do not need to use hot water. So the new ones are more efficient in terms of how they use energy and how they consume the power coming into the washer. If you think of the washer, what consumes the most energy besides the heater?
It's spinning.
The spinning, the motor. The motor is at least like 2 or 3 horsepower. You have to spin a big barrel full of floating water, so that's again power consuming. And there are some washers that consume less energy than others. So they say always try to use a full load because there's a cutoff for the power consumption. If you use on a small load, you're wasting water, and not, especially if you're using hot water, you're wasting more hot water. Heat dry options, although it's not very. So for most, this is for dishwasher actually. There's a lot of washers have a heat dry option, which is not very needed for all cycles, so you can disable the heat dry options and simply just grab on themselves. Again, choose something with the internal water heater. So for both the dishwasher and the laundry machine with a clothes washer, try to choose something without hot water demand, with its own water heater. Energy Star products, most products now you're going to buy the new ones are Energy Star, which means they're efficient and they meet the DOE requirement. Sorry, clothes washer. It's something called new load factor. I'll talk about it now. But newer models are more efficient by factor of 5. They're 5 times more efficient than old ones. Again, because you said the clothes washer uses a lot of energy in the motor that spins back and forth. Somebody came with a new idea of how to move the water with least effort and lose less energy. For old models, there's a big barrel, and you have to move the barrel all the way around. And now it has a small propeller that goes back and forth.
You say by factor of 5, what's the factor of 5?
5 times less energy consumption. So when you think about it, it's the weight of the clothes. Again, if you have an old washer and you see the whole thing spins back and forth, that's a lot of energy to spin. Also, the big impeller in the middle that consumes a lot of energy, which is also gonna require more motor powers. There are optimized water recycling, which also reduce the use for hot water temperature. Horizontal load washers are more energy efficient than top load by a factor of 50 to 70%. What do you think that is? Why? Because you're using gravity to flip the clothes around instead of using a whole full loader going side by side. So tumbling and going in circles will require less circulation for the clothes to mix with the water. Energy factor, and there's something called also the modified energy factor. And they give you the kilowatt per load, not how much the washer consumes. Because if the washer skip on the spin cycle to save energy, and the clothes are not that dry, you're gonna use more energy to try to dry that water in the dryer. So pay attention to those little details when you're trying to replace those equipment. That there's something called the energy factor and the modified energy factor, which consider how much it will take those clothes to go from point A to Z, where it's already dry. Otherwise, it's going to be a little bit more damp, and the spin cycle will be shorter. And that will, unless you go to line dry, which is not very practical in New England because it's tough in the winter. So I don't see anybody doing line drying here. It's not a good idea. You might do line drying indoors, that could work for you, but again, don't make your house very damp. So what is the difference? One of them is considering the entire load, which is how much it will cost to do the entire from washing all the way until it's dry. For dryer, thank you. Consider line drying as an option because a lot of knee clothes, like with a lot of polyester involved, you don't need to put them in dry for a long time. You can line dry this clothes with no problem, even indoors. They're small racks. So consider that instead of putting your gym clothes, which you use a lot, into the dryer, let's put it through line drying. Line drying is also good for another reason. What?
Keeps your clothes.
Yeah.
Keeps your clothes better.
The clothes will last longer. And if you buy some high-end fabrics or wool, they'll tell you never tumble dry. Tumble dry is when you put it in the dryer. And every time you take the filter of the dryer, Aiden, can you put the phone on, please? When you do tumble drying and you change the filter, what's happening every time? What is that lid? That's your clothes. So every time you're taking a piece of the clothes out, and it's gonna get thinner and thinner. Line drying, preserve your clothes. Washing in the washer is not that bad because when the fabric is wet, it's strong. When it's dry, it's weak. No, just kidding, right? So if you put things in the dryer over time, especially if you put it into a hot cycle, it will go around and around, and eventually it will get thinner and thinner. So think about also using line drying for things that you want to preserve for a longer time. It saves energy, it saves the clothes. Gas dryers, if you're going to have a lot of loads, you might want to consider gas dryer for energy saving. However, calculation has been given that it's safer to use electric dryer than gas dryer if you don't do a lot of loads. Doing like one or two loads a week, that's not a problem. But if you have a lot of people living in a house and you have a lot of clothes, it will save you money to have a gas dryer. So they save money because the heat output is better.
They got some washers now where you only need like a teaspoon of soap to clean your clothes.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, there are some dryers now and washers that have, they don't need detergent.
They have what?
They do not need detergent. No. They use supersonic waves to break up dirt. It's supposed to work.
That's
Fine.
crazy.
Oh, no, no phones.
I'm literally going like this.
You should get a spinner.
Oh,
So, I don't think they're in the market yet, but I think Samsung and Panasonic, they have one where you don't need any more detergent, which is really good for the environment and it saves you money. Detergent it's not cheap, it's expensive. I think they're gonna ban that Tide Pods.
Yeah, kids eating them.
That's what happened.
It's great.
I can't believe these people did that. That was very weird. What? No, so it's so not neutral.
What about gym equipment and stuff?
Huh?
What about gym equipment, like?
It will dissolve everything. If you think of dirt is just like particles.
What about sweat?
Some oil, sweat is oil, and water it will dissolve. So for sweat is like water and salt. If you wash it, if you run through enough water, it will be fine. And the oil from your skin, if you break it down with heat, it will wash away. What about steam cleaning? Have you ever heard of steam cleaning? Steam will clean everything. Everything will go away with steam. We'll go through steam and go away.
Oh, yeah, you see, they use a steam cleaner on white curtains.
Yeah.
You see the yellow.
Yeah, it comes down. So humidity sensors, they optimize our use for dryers. So you keep the dryer running if it was already dry. And sometimes you see more dry, optimum dry, and less dry. So there are a lot of options you can do. Cleaning the filter is very important for dryers because again, it will take longer for the clothes to dry if the filter is dirty. Refrigerators and freezers, they account for 9-15% of the energy consumption of the total household power consumption. They run all year round, so there's no way around it. The most efficient ones use less than 500 kilowatt hours per year, which is not bad, but this is the most efficient thing, and around 75 at 0.15 kilowatt hour. So $75 on this does not consider the size. So size of the fridge doesn't matter. And if you notice here in the US, there's a lot of most apartments have really big size fridges, even though you don't need it. Again, there's different market. If you go to Europe, usually they use like 5 feet or 4 feet. Those gallons refrigerators.
Like a motel fridge.
Yeah, not as small as this one, but not as big as the ones we have here. And again, you keep, if you keep, it's going to keep running the whole year, and every time you open it and close it, you have to repeat the cycle.
They run off 240, right?
Huh?
They run off 240?
Fridges?
No, in England.
Yeah,
Europe.
depends on the country, almost like 220. Tips for refrigerator? So there's some tips to economize the use of the fridge. Keep the freezer full as much as possible. Why?
So you're not wasting it?
Yeah, what else?
The frozen food keeps your freezer
Yeah.
cold.
The freezer, the frozen food will have more heat inertia. I will keep the freezer cold, and every time you open it, there is less air to fall off. So you have to freeze it again and less humidity in there. Defrost when there is quarter of an inch of frost in the freezer because that will reduce the efficiency. New freezer do not accumulate as much frost as old ones. Limit opening time. This is always an issue. When somebody opens the freezer or the fridge and just keep looking at the food, and everything goes down, and you have to, as soon as you shut it, you hit the compressor again and again, and
That's why they make fridges now where you can see through.
yeah, they have cameras on them.
It's an open door, it's crazy.
Coils once a year, that depends on the type of the freezer, not all freezers and fridges are required to be cleaned. If you go to commercial ones, a Stop and Shop or Big Y, a big supermarket, this has to be cleaned frequently. And what else? Automatic defrost models waste energy. Choose manual. Sometimes automatic defrost runs when it's not required, and I don't think they have those anymore in the market. Side by side, the refrigerator or freezer wastes more energy. When you have one fridge on one side, another size freezer, they are more power intensive.
They're biting off each other.
Yeah. And also, so the best configuration you want to have is you have the fridge on top and the freezer at the bottom.
Why is that?
Good question. Why is that? Because the compressor in your refrigerator only work the freezer. And if you have a drawer, big chest freezer, all the cold air will stay in. So when you open it, it will not escape. If you have the door, you open it up and all the cold air is very heavy, it's gonna flow down. Yeah,
Does it make sense at all to put the freezer on top since the cold air sinks?
that's what they thought in the beginning. But now if they figure out, but again, I will save more money if I keep it in the bottom and keep it as a chest, a drawer, to save money, because this is where I have all my cooling power, and I can just circulate air from the bottom to the top. But it makes sense, that's how they started. Freezer on the top, the compressor goes all the way to the top, and the air will fall. But comparing the amount of energy you will lose from opening the freezer to the circulation is not that bad. That's all. So upright freezers use more energy than chest freezer. So chest freezers are very practical because the air is so cold, it's not going to escape. And that's why when you go to supermarket, they don't even have cover in the freezers, right?
Yeah.
You can pick up stuff, the cold air just stays in there. I wanna go to a supermarket with a thermal camera.
You bring it in.
Fucking peeky here. I wonder if they would say.
Now we focus? Okay,
Oh,
too
is that a
small.
horn?
Huh?
Is that a horn?
Yeah, what I know is that.
What is that?
Too small refrigerator will use more energy than one large fridge. Makes sense? If you make the math, you have two small ones, they're gonna be running continuously to cost more money than one big one. That's why there is a rationale of having one big fridge than having two refrigerators. Old models, more than 10 years, they consume around 1,000 to 2,000 kilowatt hours. They are very, very inefficient. So that's a very good convincing case, and why should you replace your fridge? Yes, it still works, it's fine, but they are consuming more energy than they're supposed to. At some point, we have at least like 6 or 5 donated fridges here because they're old models, and people want to do the new ones because they consume less energy. Controls, so the fridge should be around between 0 to 5 degrees Fahrenheit. What is the freezing temperature? 32. So you want to be below that. The fridge should be around 36 to 40, otherwise the food will spoil. And if you go below 36, you might have the problem of freezing your food. And some foods, if you freeze, it's not going to be good anymore, especially fruits and vegetables. Pool and spas, water heating. Water heating is very expensive. It's very energy intense. Pools usually get at 75 degrees, times 78, 80. And those degrees do make a difference. What is other power you're gonna use for the pool is the pump. You're gonna pump water on filters all the time, and that costs a lot of energy. It's a problem. Hot tubs are kept around 102, which is pretty hot. And again, if you think of even though it seems like a lot of energy, the problem is how long do you use it?
20 minutes tops.
20 minutes.
You're supposed to be.
Actually, it's not supposed to exceed 15 minutes. Let's say you can use it for an hour, I don't know. An hour, if you have a fast heating element, you can say 1 hour for the whole thing. So it's still not energy intensive if you use it for like 1 hour a day. Again, you have to calculate the duration. Solar pool heating, options for chapter 9 if you wanna invest into solar water heating, which is very nice during the summertime. Because even during the summertime, you have to keep your pool hot, otherwise it's not pleasant to swimming. There you have 78 and 80. Even in Florida, if you want to use the pool around like February or March, you have to heat the pool, otherwise it's not usable.
Arizona, they throw big chunks of ice in there. It's cool.
I don't think it get that hot there.
Oh, they do, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Pool covers and evaporation. That is something you can put over a pool. You cover the pool to stop the leaking. Pool covers are important for two aspects. One of them is like keeping the heat in the pool and also the evaporation. You're gonna keep evaporating air, especially if the pressure is low. Probably during the night, when it's very cold, you'll see the vapor coming out of the pool. Pump maintenance is very important, and cleaning all the pipes because we're circulating water with chlorine, there's accumulation of algae, and the pool is exposed to the elements, so you get some algae in it and you get some debris. So the more dirt you have in the pipe and in the pump, the less efficient it is, and the more it will consume power. And the two main power consumption for a pool are the heating and the pumping power. The stamina, as I said, how long do you run the pump? And elbows consume a lot of energy. We'll talk about that next semester when we design pools and pipes. More elbows, more friction, more energy loss, and more pumping power. So this is something also added that you have to think about. So if you're in a house or an office, the number of people you have doesn't matter. Why? Because they're going to generate heat. That's important for cooling, not as important for heating, because we cannot count on people for heating. If in the winter the place is hot, just open a window. But if you go to size an AC, you have to know how much heat does everybody produce. So from moderate active work at the office, people are walking around or moving. 250 sensible heat and 200 latent heat. Because we do sweat and evaporate, and with every breath we are expelling some water vapor. So you get around like 450 BTU per person per hour. That is significant. Standing work, let's go to the gym. For the gym, 710 sensible heat, and latent heat is 1000. People are sweating in the gym all the time.
So you add both
Yeah.
together, okay.
Yeah, you have to consider both. And it's all like heat that you have to compensate for by cooling. So yeah, if you do a cooling load, that's something you have to think about and consider. That's all I have for appliances, people, and lights. And next class we'll talk about something else. Okay, thank you.